Yeah, it's supposed to be crazy. It's supposed to by the time this episode comes out, it should have already hit, and we may know exactly what happened. But there's supposed to be a Hurricane Crooked Hillary is supposed to hit, and it's just sweep up. Which you only name something that when it's going to be deadly. By the way, like when it's going to be really deadly, you wouldn't pick Hillary.
It won't be a bust. It's not going to be a bust.
So I mean, if I lived in a place where crooked Hurricane Hillary was going to come through, I'd be scared. So thoughts and prayers out to you guys that are down there. Hopefully everything goes well. But yeah, kind of weird to have a hurricane in California.
Yeah.
A little weird. Some people are like, oh, it's like a monsoon. It's like, no, it's not. This is like hurricane level winds, which is like, haha, everyone in Florida is laughing. Hee, California, like whatever. I know. It's just weird that it's happening.
Yeah.
And then you have the it's got to be geoengineering, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
This is
Dude, the fact is okay, the Nazis in Antarctica, right? They went to whatever Antarctica, and a lot of people are like, oh, that's where they learned like flying saucer tech. I think zero whatever the tech to make a flying saucer that can move the way it is. Like, I'm just like that's fine, but there's no proof of that. Like, there's no actual proof that that's what happened. Not saying it didn't, but like you can't just go around saying that. Like, But one thing they definitely did down there was learn how to manipulate weather.
Yeah,
that's Antarctica is like it's just a weather place. You know what I mean? Like that's just where if you want to learn weather, I mean, it's like it's like the MIT of weather. And you go down there and you learn how to manipulate weather. So like
it's like a practice compound.
First off, like what if the Nazis and then the other guys were like in a weather competition this whole time?
Yeah,
what if that's what this was all about? Fuck. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What if that's what this was all about?
Yeah.
Like where it's just like just high winds and we've heard all the stories, but that's the untold part of the unfortunate thing that happened in the late 30s, early 40s. Camps and stuff. That's all. That's just something to consider. But
from the 5 to the 6, we be in the mix with that rare candy paint job on the whip. I need food for the kids, money for the rent. Fuck a lockdown, baby, I can't do that shit. And I don't never vote, cause I'm fucking broke. And either way, I know the police ain't gon' leave me alone. On a plane by the visit Glen Rock, need crypto told me I should bring the Glock with me. So I packed up my piece and I'm sliding. Cause we might get caught up in a riot. Middle finger Trump, middle finger Biden. Fuck a left, fuck a right, is you riding? Know you love to see it, dudes rocking. Ain't no politics, baby, we just talking. From the birds to the bricks, we be in the mix with that rare candy paint job on the whip. Who you with?
No, that's crazy. With Maui and all that, and then
exactly.
we definitely didn't like just go that tech's dumb. Let's throw that away. But it's a BlackRock thing, dude. What if BlackRock is just like? I'm sure Whitney Webb would know this. I'm sure a lot of people would know this. I unfortunately don't know enough about BlackRock to like know who's in charge of it. But like, if I find out that it's like some Schwab ass like guy with like Nazi ties, I'm like, oh great. So they're burning down the country, and then just like making I think Scott not from our Discord, from the show, but like in our Discord said that like you in Hawaii or something, like there were certain places you couldn't develop on unless there was a natural disaster.
It's like
it's
like some Gain of Fiction lab rules or something, dude. It's just
like they're just like they've got like a big like magnifying glass reading the fine print, and he's like, I'll bring out the weather machine, I guess, if you want to.
And the pearl clutching and monocle falling into the glass of people that are like, you couldn't possibly think that it's directed energy weapons, do you? It's like, well, yeah, I could think that,
And by the way, how does that affect the bottom line? Even if I do think that, it's just like I was talking about in the Substack episode. By the way, everybody go check out the Substack, rarecandy.substack.com. You don't have to listen on Substack. There's Gain of Fiction, all types of stuff on there. You get your own RSS link from the Substack post, put it in your podcast player. $5 a month, but we give you an additional episode every month. You get 2 episodes a week from us in total. And but anyways, like we were saying, it's just like that George R.R. Martin story where I was talking about, where it's just like, why do you want people to why do you want to just like quantify everything and be like, well, that hasn't been discovered yet, so that's irresponsible for you to say. It's like, I'm a construction worker.
Yeah.
I can say whatever I want.
Yeah.
Like, and just like I can say whatever I can say that and go, I am that's a directed energy weapon. That's what I get. Like that's my privilege as a construction worker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
it's
it's just, I don't know. I've had the unfortunate privilege of coming across what Destiny has been up to for the last couple days or
The
whatever.
omni-liberal.
The fucking whole thing, this whole thing was like, actually, our institutions are working fine, and it's just always going to be this way now, huh? Where people think it's always going to be energy weapons from now on for everything, for every new vaccine. It's like, Chad, yes. First of all, it's funny, man. It's crazy, dude. It's like, how do you do? Normal people must see that, and at least they must realize, okay, this is a little cringe, right, or something. Because I mean, it's like, I don't know, like, I think there's that whole thing where, like, you know, we're the crazy ones. You guys are the crazy ones, right? But then people subconsciously, they're like, no, they're right, you know, and they just not even
right.
like
It's like optics. It's optics. Yeah. It's like being right, but like at what cost?
Yeah,
by losing all my friends. I mean, that's been. I mean, in COVID, that was the case. Like all types of stuff, that was the case. Where it's like, yeah, you're right, but it's like, do I want to be the guy that's right? It's the Howling Mutant, the great Howling Mutant tweet, where it's you know, yeah, they didn't invent the telescope, but is it really worth losing your job over?
Yeah.
Like, it's totally like, it's exactly what that.
Oh, you might have evidence to the contrary. You might have.
No, it's 100%. Like that's exactly how libs go. Like they're like you know, especially in California, like there's always been that alternative thinking amongst like Californian people. Like even if they, you know, get in line like good Democrats and like good, you know, regime trusters, they always in the back of their mind, like at the bar, will be like, yeah, man, something's weird about like, you know, the way we do X, you know, and all that. So yeah, that's all I'm saying. I'm just like, I get it when people are like, can we just pray for the victims first, guys? Can we just not like, can we just, I'm like, yeah, well, I why does that, like, why are those mutually exclusive that I'm not like praying for the victim of somebody affected by a directed energy weapon?
That's the insidious thing, is that whenever someone dies, for some reason, we've determined that questioning the cause is somehow disrespectful to which is complete horseshit and the opposite of truth.
Yeah, it means you care more usually.
Yeah, it's like by the way, did you hear the whole, like the aluminum barium, is like causing all these fires to be way more tinderbox like and shit.
Please
where
let
it's
me
just
know.
like, you know, you're just creating like little they're like little fuses, basically. You know, like all those little particles everywhere just cause shit to ignite way quicker and burn. Like, you know, they're little sparklers, basically. So it's just, we're just blanketing the earth with this highly flammable material that just acts as an accelerant. Basically.
And it's like, you know, if you're gonna do that, right? Like if you're gonna do that as a nation to your people, can you at least buy a "Don't Just Spray 'Em, Bury 'Em" t-shirt at the Rare Candy merchandise store?
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's
like if we're gonna go down from heavy metals, can you buy a shirt?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, what shirt are you asking? Oh, that's the Rare Candy store. Check it out. It's the link will be in the description of this of whatever you're consuming this show on. But yeah,
I need one of them. I need to buy one of those.
I have one. I have one. It's wonderful.
You have the OG one, right? Yeah.
I do. Yes, it's great. And so it's got the embroidered logo, which is cool. Yeah, it's cleverly above the nipple, because if it's embroidered on the nipple, that's I mean, you're doing BDSM with a shirt. And
don't go for a run in that shirt.
Andy Bernard, I don't want to do that. We're going to get you right back to the episode, but I just wanted to let you guys know of a few other things we offer at Rare Candy Industries. We have a Substack with free and paid subscription options. Free subscribers get access to all written content. That includes Bob's Red Pill. That's the best thing going on the internet right now. Trust me. Paid subscribers get full access to our premium episode feed. And that's just every episode we don't necessarily want to share with the general public, if you know what I'm saying. Again, that's rarecandy.substack.com. We also have merch. That link's a little long for me to say right now, but go to the description, go to our merch store, and find a shirt that's right for you. We have Rare Candy shirts, Dr. Bronner soap label shirts, Rishi mushroom shirts, all types of stuff there. Check it out. There's got to be something for you. And lastly, check us out on social media. On Instagram, we're Rare Candy Pod, but on Twitter, we're at Rare Candy Pod 1. All right, enough of that. Let's get you back into the episode. But yeah, also just a couple things before we get to the mailbag today. We do have some very good questions. couple things. One, when you see a bug in your house, what do you do?
My
Regular
girlfriend-
bug, not a scary, not like a there's objective like, oh shit, like bugs, like spiders bigger than a fucking bigger than like the biggest coin that you have. Like there's ones where it's like, okay, that one's got to go. Know, but like for the most part, you just like a regular. Like, what do you do? I let them cook?
Yeah, that's what I would always normally do, but now I'll try and have my cat get its like attention so that she can hunt it down, and then I'll just watch her hunt it basically, which is pretty funny.
Pretty cool. That's
and
sick.
The thing is, it's pretty ethical because she usually doesn't get it. She usually doesn't kill the moth or whatever. But it's so I like to watch that. That's my main thing. Yeah,
because like there's like when it's like a baby spider. You ever see somebody like it's like like my wife's she used to freak out over like spiders and stuff, but now she's like most of the time she's like, oh, spider,
Which tell me how you did that, because I need that. Dude. If I can.
With the wasps, as I said on the Substack episode, the wasps have become the greater evil. So I think now the fucking spiders are just like, how can can the spiders be weaponized?
Yeah,
to take out the wasp.
Yeah,
would be wonderful. And I've always been a big spider guy. I love spiders, so I've absolutely loved them.
Pretty cool.
Had a pet tarantula. They're awesome.
Insects, they're they just got a cool vibe, real spiritual vibe, chill, kind of zen.
Why? Why? Because I don't even think that. But why do they have a spiritual vibe?
I don't know. They're just like they're really good at sitting still for long stretches of time, being patient, waiting.
Go a long time between meals too.
Yep. Yeah, they're in intermittent fasting, dude. Yeah, they're doing
God gets in. I mean, Brothers Karamazov, right? Brothers Karamazov. It's that guy who's like, bro, like you got demons in you if you ate like in the last month, like just that kind of Father Farapont. Just kind of. Yeah. No, right. I'm starting to see it now for sure. Just wanted to get that go. Because
all insects, I'm so like one of my favorite things to do is just to Google image zoomed up, like any insect I see. I'm like, what does that actually look like? You're like an ant or like a fruit fly, even whatever. You're like, what is that? I know what that is. Everyone knows what it is, but what does it actually look like zoomed up? And all insects are like straight up works of art. It's crazy.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
There used to be a Facebook page, like a really cool bug Facebook page that I used to. Back in the Facebook days, I was awesome. I haven't found the Twitter equivalent. If anybody knows, hit me, because I would love to follow more bug content, not bug man content. That's what a lot of people follow already. Yeah. There's plenty of that. But no, I was thinking too, like if there is a site, again, send it to me. But there would be a cool site to send if you had, there's that one where it's like you take a picture of a flower and like it can tell you like what, like you upload it to the site or like put it on the site and it'll say like, that's this, need that for bugs.
Yeah, for sure.
And then like you on the flip side, go like Pixar mode to the bugs heads. They're probably like, we signed up for Elon Twitter and look what happens. Now there's a whole bug database on us. Now they know what we are.
Yeah.
The ones that when we want them scared of us, they find out we're not shit. And then when we're not shit and we're just trying to like find water, which that's always what I felt bad about with the spiders during the drought in California, was always like, dude, they just want my bathtub, dude. That's all they want.
Yeah.
That's all they want. They just want some water.
Just a little dip. Yeah,
the creek over by my house is all dried up. It's like that's where they're coming from. But
for sure.
And, they just want that. But like for the most part, they'll be like, well, with this bug database, they're gonna find out I'm not shit, or they're gonna, or they're gonna mistaken me for one that is shit, as like crazy, and then and then they're gonna kill me, kind of a false flag killing almost. Wonder if that's the case. So last order of business I want to talk about is that Pink Floyd song that the people created through people's brain waves.
Yeah.
You may be asking, what the hell is that? Pink Floyd song recreated. I want to see brain signals. Weird that it's Pink Floyd that they did that. No, it seemed they're always like the guy who gets really into like human experiments. Their favorite band's always Pink Floyd, I feel like. And that's not an indictment of Pink Floyd. I'm just saying, like, they always seem to be.
It's never like the band or it's never like.
Rest in peace, Robbie Robertson.
Yeah,
man, love Robbie Robertson. Yeah, just a delight, man. Robbie Robertson scored so many Scorsese movies that people don't like even know about. Like he lived in like when Scorsese was like hardcore coke days, he lived with Robbie Robertson. They just had like a coke apartment, and he scored like Raging Bull and all these like amazing movies. And then, you know, of course, the cancellation of or they attempted like every 3-year slow news day at Jezebel thing where they pretend that the night they tore Old Dixie down is actually like making slavery come back. the song, because he wrote, that's like his song. He like wrote that. I mean, he's a brilliant songwriter, but he wrote that one. And it's like, dude, he's Canadian. Yeah. So he's just like looking at that from afar. He's just like, oh, that's just an event that happened. You know, like he's just so that's weird. And then second off, song slaps.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Amazing song. And then also nobody tries to cancel Joan Baez for her cover, which is also great, but she's a libtard. So like it doesn't, I mean, like go to Joan Baez's Instagram, by the way. It looks like she's running for Democratic senator. It's insane. There are all these like super curated political pictures where she's like, I like, it's always just like, it's like, she's always, I don't know what it is. Like all the weird, like Dave McGowan ass shit I see everywhere on the internet about like this artist is a psyop. It's like, maybe the Joan Baez one is just so in plain sight that nobody even does the dissertation of Joan Baez being an absolute psyop. But yeah, actually, I'm a fan too. I think she's great. But anyways, rest in peace, Robbie Robertson. Pink Floyd song,
Double R.
Double R, Rough Riders. We found out what song it is, by the way. But according to the Smithsonian Magazine, participants with electrodes on their brains listen to Another Brick in the Wall, Part 1, from the rock band's 1979 album, The Wall. Researchers then used the computer model to convert the electrode signals into audio. The recreated bars sounded garbled and hazy, a distorted echo of the original track, but the unmistakable elements of the song's rhythm, melody, and harmony shine through. Quote, it's a technical tour de force, said Robert Zatoria, neuroscientist at McGill University. Neuroscientists at McGill University be like, it's a technical tour de force, by the way. That's what they be like. Because what a loser to say something like that. Whatever. All I'm saying is we've talked about this on our Paranormal Summit episode. The spoken word is the kind of the bastardization of the great thought, right? I mean, any spoken word seems like a primitive way for us to communicate. Like any like high level, like crazy advanced society that you read about, like a lot of them did a lot of nonverbal communication, telepathic, tapped into their psychic energy, did all these kind of things. Yeah. And right now we're at the least spiritual time of humanity, in my opinion, just based off of what I've read. And people don't believe that they're psychic. People don't believe they can do things with their brains. They think they need help with everything. Like they half these people can't even read a fucking book right now, and they think they think they can't. Right? They give up right away. There's just no willpower because we have tech to assist you in everything. Like I remember thinking Mavis Beacon was like crazy, but it's like even that people would be like, I need help with Mavis Beacon now, is how people would be like. They'd be like, I need a hack for Mavis Beacon so the ship doesn't sink, that when I'm typing 67 words per minute, the submarine doesn't capsize. But we're at that point where humans just don't think that they can do crazy spiritual, I guess I don't even know what to say, like events that would show the capability of the human mind. But I believe high level tech companies, people that are tapped into technology, and I believe a lot of them know that humans can't. But what they're doing right now is replicating it with things that are probably more unhealthy, in my opinion. You know, like we've talked about how like probably Bluetooth technology is probably some weird like alien cosmic like thing that was recreated by tech companies with carcinogenic qualities. You know, like because we've bypassed certain elements of it, or we're not evolved enough to have that stuff. Regardless. So what these tech companies do is they just basically bottle up God's gift and sell it back to you, essentially.
Yeah, or like a pale imitation of it. You know, I still don't think this is, you know,
right? No, of course. It's
Yeah.
it's never the same.
Yeah,
But
which is, I know that's what you meant. Yeah,
but we don't have. But the thing is, what
Yeah.
are we comparing it to? Most of society doesn't think like this is an innovation. There's no. They said it. It's like, it sounds like shit. They basically say it in the article. They're like, doesn't sound good. Yeah. And of course, it's Pink Floyd's most Reddit song. Not bad. I like the song. Love the album.
Yeah, you called that. We were talking today. You
said it because I had seen just a thumbnail of the article, and you're like, what song did they do? I was like, probably their most Reddit song.
Yeah.
Because that's how these things work. These are like Redditors that do these experiments. So I was like, it's going to be their most Reddit song. It's a great song. Reddit doesn't always mean bad. It's just
They capture the British Kids chorus is my question.
That album doesn't have a skip on it. It's beautiful. So like I will never ever.
It's Roger Waters' tour de force.
It is.
Yeah. What's crazy about the like, you look at like Ingo Swann, Hal Puthoff, the Stanford SRI research, like the early remote viewing, and not just, they were doing all sorts of shit. They were doing all like not just remote viewing, but they would like lock him in like a Faraday cage room, you know, deep underground with zero possibility for even an electrical signal to go in and out. So this psychic stuff works regardless of sorry, I said that fucking word. I said the bad word.
Do you think I'm sitting here with a red pen highlighting your
I know someone's going to say something.
Somebody will. We're getting in the asterisk, like, correct your grammar audience range right now. We are. Yeah. YouTube is brutal. They don't let you get away with it. It's the big leagues, dude. That's like when you see a slurve for for the first time in the major leagues, or a sinking fastball. You're like, I haven't seen this type of criticism.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take the strikeout. Yeah, but no, but they're so there's something, whatever our psychic abilities are completely independent of what people are like. Oh, it's like an electrical transmitter and receiver. It's like, yeah, probably, but we don't even understand what that, it's
right.
It's respective of that. So I thought that's interesting. So even this whole Reddit thing is just not, it's something else, it's just detecting, it's just recreating your brain. I assume it's just recreating what your brain is tracking along to the song as it goes, and just kind of recreating that as a sound.
Is the idea to have a implanted Bluetooth, perhaps a chip, that you don't have to load any music on?
Yeah, it's like the next.
You just think the song and it plays.
And that's when Steve Jobs comes back from the dead. He's like, surprise! Oh, it's my final act, dude. He's boom.
So you think about it, like it's some kind of Neuralink, like MP3, still U2 doing the commercial,
Yeah.
Yeah, Bono's only 37 in his brain. He's just so cool, man. Yeah.
Press play.
I don't think that's how Bono sounds, but
it's close enough.
Yeah. He turned into like such a Sobe guy, like a Sobe ass dude, like in like the early 2000s, like out of nowhere, he's just like Sobe in the desert, man.
Those weird jeans, those Sobe jeans, the fucking
yeah, exactly.
By the way, shout out to
Sobe Bryant.
Yes, yeah. Shout out to everyone that remote viewed preseason games tomorrow. First
if you guys want to get in, it's a beautiful channel that you guys censor the results to not screw with the experiment. Well, I guess we'll find out if it screws with the experiment or not, but if you want the Discord, hit us up. You know what I mean? You can email Rare. The best way to do it, I don't keep my DMs open to everybody just because that's not a good idea. So if you want to, go to rarecandyindustries@gmail.com. That is the official contact. Whatever, I'll see it on there. So you'll get an invite. We were down to have the Discord in there. There was like one lame guy, and he doesn't. Yeah, whatever. He's not in there anymore. But anyways, so shall we get to some questions? We got some great questions today. I'm very excited. Yes. Let's do that. And the first one, it's going to be from former guest of the show. I don't think she minds me saying this, but it's Geo.
Oh shit.
Geo, Truth About Cancer. We're gonna do another one. We're absolutely gonna do another one. And she said this, and I'm glad somebody asked this. I think we've only spoke about it in passing a little bit, but she said, how do you factor your concept of Judeo-Christian, I guess this is more for me, but Judeo-Christian God into the manifestation and vibrational quantum jumping?
I could help with that one.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I guess for me, I'll rephrase that. It's like just tapping into the paranormal, doing all these things, but with a background of just like believing in God, and just stuff like that. For one, it's gotten stronger, the belief in God. It's gotten stronger. It's almost like I'm like at a court hearing for does God exist? And then I found a whole new part in the trial of evidence that was never before seen that proves the existence of God. Right, this spiritual journey we're on and stuff like that. And I think that because at the end of the day, like, think about it, right? Manifesting. We talk about manifesting a lot. So a lot of people, that seem demonic, but it's like my mother-in-law just brought this up the other day. She said, like, there's a part of the Bible that says, like, you can move a mountain with a mustard seed. You know what I mean? Like just you
Faith
can
of a
do
mustard seed, yeah.
faith of a mustard seed, which obviously it's not meant to be taken literally. Maybe you could, I don't know, but the idea is we have had this power for a long time, and I think the fact is we've been taught not only is religion bad, but also like all the stuff that God tells you you're allowed to do is like bad too, because we don't have Neil deGrasse Tyson to tell you that that's also true. And I think that it's been it's like I said, I definitely don't value like the politicized religion. I don't know that I ever have, like the actual, like, we're starting an army of Christian warriors and stuff. Like, that's not me. It's just never going to be me. I don't believe in that. I think people have to come to it naturally. I don't believe in like crusade style stuff, and I am definitely more new agey about it, and I don't think it's bad. I have a really good, I think one thing I have is really good awareness and a really, really hypersensitive conscience. Like, if I know I've done something wrong, like, it really eats at me. Like, and I don't feel it at all. Right. Like, there's none of that's happening. Like, there's none of those senses are tingling when we explore into this stuff. And that, to me, my rule is like, follow all synchronicities. Like, synchronicities are good, because synchronicities, okay, what does that word mean in the Bible? It's a sign from God.
Yeah.
That's all synchronicities are. It's just a thing. It's like, okay, you've got here, you've gotten to this point, right? And like, just keep following that train. Now, if you're noticing nothing's going right in a while, it's because you probably haven't followed the synchronicities, right? Or you've denied them, or just chalk them up to chance, and you've just picked wrong a few times. But when you keep following them, even if it's not an immediate win, right? And maybe alter your definition of winning too, by the way. But even if it's not a win, it's like, just keep going. These are signs, right? And I think these are just more like palatable terms for everybody.
Yeah.
Which is not like a happy holidays thing, because that's always retarded, like the libtard happy holidays type of thing. It's not like what I'm doing to it. I just mean it's easier to convey that to people who maybe just have never had a religious day in their life. You know what I mean? I personally, to me, it's the religion aspect probably hasn't like gotten stronger, but it's just the idea. I feel way closer to God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please, that's all I had to say. But yeah,
I've just been reading. It's all the old school, like the new thought leaders of like the old school guys of like the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, all the middle of last century, and all their PDF. Like guys like Neville Goddard or Joseph Murphy, or those guys. All about like Neville Goddard. I highly recommend. I knew about it for a while, but I finally read it. It's short PDF, short book, like 40 pages, called "Feeling is the Secret." And he's one of my favorite teachers. He's got a pretty active community, people that like follow his work and stuff. He's very clear. They're all Bibled up, dude. They're all quoting that shit. And it's like, and I'm not really that guy. I kind of vibed with that. So I was just like, oh, whatever, But then reading this now, like, it coming at it from the other angle for me, because I always grew up like with the new agey shit, And then he'll just have like 2 pages of bars, and then he'll drop like a Bible quote, and I'll be like, oh damn, like I get it now. So I'm coming at it from like the other direction, and it's and about my whole thing with like Christianity, I don't know, man. I like, you just sorry, like, not trying to cramp at anyone's style, but if you're Christian, just don't be a square. Like, why are you the way you are? Like, it's like,
why are you as a Christian being a square?
Yeah, and why exactly, and why? Like, Jesus said, you're supposed to use your superpowers, basically. You're supposed to be like me. You're supposed to do crazier shit than even I do. and I turn water into wine, and I do
Yeah,
great.
it's like you're picking tomatoes out of a deli sandwich right now. And you didn't want these.
So I'm saying it's like the shit is like the real deal is like psychedelic and trippy as fuck. Like don't but most people they choose Christianity, especially like return or traditional types, not because they want the truth, because they want like some veneer of like
they want rules.
Yeah, they want rules.
They come from leftism. They will come from leftism, which has rules. They go to this other thing that's like based.
Yeah,
Christianity is based, and they're like the first thing they go to is here's rules I can weaponize, and then there's an enemy.
Yeah.
So you have, which is your former thing, usually the thing you ran from, and then you have the rules that you can then weaponize on them.
Yeah.
And then it's just you're just ping ponging back between ideologies and then using them as weapons, which is like that's cool, but that does nothing for you. That actually probably ages you faster. That makes you more jaded. That makes you probably closes off all spiritual doors. Like I'm pretty sure I wouldn't I don't know that anything that leads you into like trying to win Twitter debates about Catholicism. If that's what your spiritual journey, like you should probably like just go to the NASCAR pit stop, look under the hood. Let's see what's going on. That's all it is. Cause we're all tempted. This is 2023. We're all tempted to go that route. And I would just look otherwise. And like, dude, I'm sorry. Like, there's just way too much. Like, I'm sorry, you're reading, and I understand not everyone's a Bible literalist, but like, you're reading things of guys talking to bushes and stuff, like burning bushes, getting signs, 10 commandments. Like this shit is that shit's paranormal as hell.
Yeah.
If you didn't know anything about, if you were dropped here and didn't know anything about it, you were just a stock like NBA 2K my player guy, didn't know anything, didn't have any skills yet or anything, had no context of how the world works, and I explained to you some certain biblical stories, they'd be like, what?
Yeah
That's crazy. But then like it's like, wait, you think so now you don't think that can happen anymore?
Yeah
That's that. I feel like it'd be weird for me to think like someone, you can't, and I know people that believe both, but like it'd be weird for somebody to be like, I can't bend a spoon. You can't bend a spoon. But I also had in the past there were these people that were parting the Red Sea and like doing all, there all these things were happening. Yeah. Not people, but that was God, but still, right. Like just like that, all these things were happening. And then like, that doesn't happen anymore. It's like that to me is just incoherent. Like you need to reevaluate the way you think about things.
Yeah. Ironically, the cliche new age, actually, I follow the teachings of literal Jesus Christ, bro, is actually on point. It is. That's the funny thing. The guy that's like, I'm not really Christian, but I follow Jesus. It's like that guy's cool. He knows what's up, because that's the whole,
I mean, I would argue that he is a Christian. So
exactly,
I mean, that's literally what that is.
Yeah,
quite. I mean, that's like collecting rainwater rather than running the faucet. Like you're just getting straight from the source. Yeah. And but all right, perfect. Sounds good. Next one is from our friend from Down Under. Shout out Jock, Unpopular Pod. Great show. I've done a series on his show. It's Unpopular Pod. He talks a lot about reality TV, but he's able to weave his hot takes within. It's kind of, how we do Gain of Fiction and stuff. Like we're talking about a book, but it's like we're talking about a bunch of other things, and he's able to really, he's a great broadcaster, but he's able to weave in like talking about Real Housewives, and then he'll just all of a sudden drop like Kim Iverson bars on there. Like it's excellent show. We need to get him on. But I'm just trying to think of like what, like I want to find some good source material to talk about with him. He's really good. So here's his question. I believe it's about vaping.
Andy, it's your favorite Australian. I want to get your take on vaping, because I don't vape and I don't smoke, but sometimes I'm tempted to vape because it looks really fun and it has all these different flavors. And I kind of think, man, if I could just vape, then I wouldn't eat chocolate and I wouldn't eat other junk food, because I could just like kill the craving with the vape. But then you see all these studies about how bad vaping is, and it destroys your lungs and it's causing people all these kinds of issues. But then I think, well, did the tobacco industry just flood the market with like vape, anti-vaping, studies and news, and it's just all fake and funded by big tobacco? So what's the tea on vaping? What is your definitive vape take? Thanks, guys.
So I'm old enough to remember when COVID was vape lung.
Yeah.
Remember that?
The vitamin E acetate or whatever. The fucking...
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm old enough to remember that. I never got into cigarettes. I never got into vaping, like the e-cigarette. I know that's a whole different thing. I used to vape like weed. That just never felt right.
Yeah.
It never felt right. It felt convenient, but it didn't feel right. It felt decadent, but also just it would make me tired all the time. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm burning like hockey, like NHL plexiglass into my fucking lungs, you know, like while inhaling this nectar with butane in it or something. Like I was like, this whole thing, it's like it's this new revolutionary thing to like save your lungs. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm not a vape guy. I don't know about you.
Well, I've tried to smoke one cigarette in my life, and then I hit a vape once in my life, and my lungs can just not handle tobacco smoke. First cigarette I tried, I was like, holy shit, this is just not, because I was already blown tons of weed at that point. I'm like, man, this is just not good. Not for me. I cannot do this. And then later, my buddy, like years later, my buddy had a tobacco vape, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that cigarette I smoked. I wonder if tobacco vape is like easier on the lungs, you know, and blah blah. And I was like, okay, can I try and hit that? He's like, yeah, sure. And I just get into like an immediate like 15-minute coughing attack. I'm like, oh, this shit is strong, man. I don't know how people take this into their lungs without flinching at all. And this comes from someone that could just blow bales of weed all day and like not trip, you know, like back in the day. And so yeah, for me, it was just never for me. As far as the vape thing, I don't know. It does feel. I mean, if I had gun to the head, I'd be vaping instead of smoking cigarettes for sure. If I had to do like a pack a day equivalent, you know, I don't want to be smoking a pack a day cigarettes. Yeah, definitely.
No, I know to a lot, but shout out to my friend Amanda Milius. I know she's very militant about it, but it's not.
I mean, I have no judgments. Yeah.
No, you can. I'm not a weird. I think it's live and let live, and I think the weird. Michael Crichton explained secondhand smoke pretty well. I'm Michael Crichton on the issue in the sense that we shouldn't create stupid ass laws because people don't like the smell of something, you know. So I just that's my thing. So, yeah. All right. So next up, this is from Kelby, bottom of the map, Texas.
Kelby had some excellent remote viewing today too. By the way, I knew he'd be good at it too.
Kelby is a very spiritual psychic man. I mean, and him and I, the next Gain of Fiction. Again, if you're not on our Substack feed, oh my god, I don't know what to tell you, but we have almost a 3-hour Bret Easton Ellis Rules of Attraction episode coming out soon, where we just go all over the place with it, and it's quite good. It's really good, and he's definitely gone through some health things recently and had a kind of a, you know, a lot of things happened in his life that were pretty, you know, chaotic and stuff. And I think he's really spiritually seems like he's in a really good place right now. So that's really good. But here's his question.
Hey, you know, I love the spiritual direction the show is taking and everything. What I want to know is, when's the Rare Candy tarot deck dropping, and what's that shit gonna look like? Like, what would a Rare Candy tarot deck look like?
So I think first off, the great thing about the Agitator podcast is they always come up with a way to make money. Always. And always come up with like a tangible object or like a venture that you can go on and just be like, hey, that'd be cool if you guys just did this. And I'm like, first off, I don't know I wish I knew more about tarot. The only thing I've ever heard about was when we had Brad Kelly on, and he talked about tarot.
Just Google tarot deck cards right now and just see which ones we could rare candify.
Yeah, we would need a Mac Dre for sure, like a Mac Dre tarot.
Yeah,
card.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what characters. There's 78 cards. Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Hanged Man looks pretty sick. That could be something. But like, yeah, I would definitely. I would take, like, it would almost be like our Sergeant Pepper. I would really love for somebody to talk all the people that we bring up, make a Sergeant Pepper's type like thing of us.
We talk about it all the time.
Michael Crichton, Mac Dre, like all these people that we bring up all the time. Like, it would be really cool to have like our own Sergeant Pepper's. It would be fun to like tarotize that.
Yeah.
Too, you know what I mean, and make like a tarot card deck out of that and then like sell it. You know, we wouldn't be responsible for whatever you summon or conjure, but you know, like that's and I just for Agitator, I just did this amazing audiobook, and I would have done the full thing if we didn't have our own fiction venture that we were doing. But I really wish I would have sat down with the, you know, a copy of it, because it was such a wonderful book. But it was by Tim Powers, who's oddly enough has a lot of tie-ins with Philip K. Dick. They were like friends, and I didn't know this until I was we're getting ready to do this Philip K. Dick kind of super coverage of him pretty soon. But he Tim Powers is called Last Call. Awesome book. It was like, I think it's like 1,000 pages of the book, but it was like a 20-hour audiobook. For the last like 2 months, I'd just been piecing away at it on runs and walks and stuff like that. And really, really good. And it's about like this guy, or it's about like every Easter, or not every Easter, but like a chosen Easter, there's a new king and a queen, but it's of like the card deck, and it takes place in Vegas, in like mob ruled Vegas. And Bugsy Siegel was originally the king of everything. You know what I mean? The old mobster. But then now it's all about like, it's this real world scenario where like it's like this fantasy, but like a mobster fantasy, like organized crime fantasy thing, where like it's just nuts. Like guys are doing like, they play like poker games with like tarot card decks and stuff, and try to like buy, like if you buy, they play this game where you can buy somebody's hand off of them, but then you're like buying their life and shit. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy book. So but nonetheless, I would love to do something like that. But check out our merch store, guys. We have some good merch stuff. It's we need you guys over there. We have our stuff is pretty quality. But yeah, I definitely would love to talk about, like, you know, Aaron Rodgers, all the people we talk about, you know, a lot. It would be fun to like tarot those people. You know, that would be sick. Okay. So next up, let's see, where do we want to go with this? This is a would you rather kind of one. So this is let's see.
Hey guys, Adam Lanza here, big fan of the pod. My question is, who would you rather be stuck on a 12-hour road trip? Only thing on the radio is NPR. Rob Reiner or Stephen King, and suicide is not an option. Cheers.
I think we both know the answer to this, and it's Stephen King.
Oh, it's SK all day.
Hands
AKs,
down.
AKs and SKs, dude. Keep the sneak all day.
We'd want more hours. We'd be like, damn, are we there yet? Are we
first off,
there?
You would have to tell Stephen King that suicide is not an option if I'm with him in the car, because I would be like I would be one of his, like, I would be like Misery with Stephen King, like what, like I would be his biggest fan ever, but his like political adversary. Like I would just be like, dude, Steve, I have a running thing where I like pretend I'm Stephen King's friend that tries to guide him in the right direction in his mentions on Twitter. I really enjoy doing that with him on Twitter. He's such like an Olympic Twitter user, so it's like it's such a high stakes thing for him. So I really like I'll just go, hey Steve, I'm not really sure about this one. You know, like I just love to say stuff like that, and I always call him Steve too, which because I feel like nobody ever calls him Steve King. Yeah, but he. I really like what Rob Reiner sucks. I love Spinal Tap. Don't get me wrong, but I can't talk about Spinal Tap for 12 hours. I can talk about Spinal Tap for 2 hours if anybody ever wants to have me on for that. But I love Spinal Tap. It's a brilliant movie. Yeah. Harry Met Sally. I mean, you know, those movies are cool, I guess. Like I like Stephen King. Dude, you got I spent my whole 6th and 7th grade years reading Stephen King, man. Like you ever remember those reading logs for school, like the like book logs? But like in middle school, like you could like do whatever you wanted, but you had to like log it down. And my mom just had all these Stephen King books. My mom was like, you can read those if you want. And I was like, cool. And I just read like Pet Sematary, Carrie, you know, all the hits. Yeah. And we're going to cover The Dead Zone for Gain of Fiction, because that's like a psychic novel and stuff, which could be fun. But I like, for me, first off, him and I would become friends after that. I would be his problematic friend. Yeah. I think, you know, I think we would become friends personally. So yeah, without question. Remember Rob Reiner in South Park?
Yeah. Yeah. I knew there was something I was missing. Yeah.
Dude, the smoking. This was one of the best one of the best episodes, I thought. Like that season of South Park.
He's just eating the like dozens of burgers and shit.
He's just like
that's Crichton pill right there for sure.
Dude. Well, they're both like kind of libertarian. Like it's definitely like libertarian, you know, style.
Oh man, that was peak South Park celebrity bashing.
The Truth.org episode, that was so good, man. That was the best season. Still the best season of South Park ever was that year. The metrosexual, queer eye, crab people, and all that stuff. I believe that was the same season as the Rob Reiner South Park one. So, it's Stephen King, no question. All right, next one. I think this one's about rap music. People like when we talk rap. I mean, it's funny because I don't think we have the same take as our listeners at all. Like from what I hear, like they're. But here we go.
Red Candy fam, this is Caffeine Fascist.
Oh, there you go.
I forgot my Twitter name. My question is for the both of you. With the degeneracy that rap music seems to be in, I feel like the last two real lyricists that we saw, and correct, I'm probably wrong on this, was J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar. Do we see a major shift in music heading towards the poppy, country, more conservative, real artistic style of music, or is this the future of rap in the Uzis and the weird gonna computerized voice stuff? Love to hear your thoughts.
It's a great question. I think.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's a wonderful question. I'll kick it to you first because I have a pretty long-winded answer to it.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm a broken record, but I think one thing about growing up on Bay Area music, you learn not only is there good quote unquote alternative hip hop like the Hieroglyphics and Boots, Riley, shit, like all that, the whole.
You could eat rather farm to table if you're a Bay Area rap fan. Like you could pretty much live off the land.
But they're all cool with the E40s and the jackets and stuff. It's just a total. It's not like one of those weird divided things. And if you listen to Mac Dre, is like an incredible lyricist, but people don't put him into the lyricist category because he's rapping about like pimping hoes and shit.
And he's funny. He has fun with it.
Funny,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Whereas like I feel, it's kind of like a thing with where everything when everyone got into the South, and I've been really into the old South crunk shit lately. The last couple weeks, I've been getting back into that. Where like DL4 and fucking like DJ.
You're talking about like 04, like 8th grade rap. Yeah, fuck
exactly.
That, yeah.
But I mean, I get why people because I was looking at
Are you listening to Dem Franchise Boys?
Yeah,
nice.
Totally. Young Jock. Do you remember? Yeah, shit like that.
That was a hitter. That was such a great. No, I loved like I had the first. I felt like the first guy in the Bay Area that had like the first TI Rubber Band Man album. Like, I was like, I remember telling people, I'm like, I saw it on MTV, and I was like, in the Bay Area, people were like not on him yet, and I was like, dude, this shit is sick as fuck. Like, you might see me in the streets, but you don't know me. Like, I used to love that song. Like, right. No, that's a great pocket of rap. But
I remember like Laffy Taffy. I remember I was like bumping that song. That song came on, and then I was on the
Mr.
Wikipedia
Chico
page,
stick.
and then exactly, and and then that was that whole era, when like every like Ghostface was really butthurt that those guys were getting radio play.
That's right. That's right.
And I remember thinking, and we were kind of on that. We were definitely had that phase of like the whole because we made beats and shit, and we were into the whole like, we're like the real hip hop. I think we fell for that psyop slightly for a little bit.
Yeah, he gatekeeped
but never
a little bit,
but never fully because again we were vaccinated being from the Bay, dude. Growing up,
absolutely, vaxxed and boosted. Yep.
Yeah, and there was just that time when New York lyricism was just really struggling, and everyone knew it sucked. Everyone's like, "This, you guys invented hip hop, but it sucks."
Oh, it was bad.
It's bad. Like they're just totally resting on their laurels.
Yeah, like Tony Ye, the best rapper, like in New York. Like, oh
Tony,
my god, this is horrible.
Like, what is this? Yeah, and so I remember just being like, that was my first thing of like, oh, okay, I actually just care more about good music than lyricism. That being said, I do appreciate good lyricism. We've never been too cool for Kendrick. We had that whole one of our most popular episodes is Kendrick Lamar.
Kendrick Lamar. It's still one of I think to me, like I think that might have been out of the solo episodes that's possible that could be the magnum opus on the free feed, of course. That
was great.
That one and the Sirens on the Substack feed. I would think would be probably the two to like get to know us the most. I think those. Yeah, because my Kendrick
like you
Lamar hot take was right, but I also liked Kendrick Lamar.
Exactly. Yeah, it was like
Mhm.
it's a
Mhm.
talented dude, and it's like clearly
Yeah.
took it to another. He's different than like a fucking YG, you know, and like took it to another level.
YG just was like Mexican. Like he just
Yeah,
became Mexican
exactly.
after a while. He was just like, all right, yeah, like
Yeah.
uh,
So yeah, that's my whole thing is that I and man, when we do the Mac Dre episode, I mean, just the lyricism that dude
no,
employs
he's
is on
incredible.
another. It's absolutely insane.
It's psychedelic. It gets like kind of
Yeah.
like it is this like crazy like I don't like I wouldn't be surprised if I listened to Mac Dre and like I
Yeah.
heard like a song and then I realized nothing in my house was playing a song and I just like all
Yeah.
of a sudden a message just came
Yeah.
to me and I felt like I heard his discography like it's
100%,
it permeates like and I think it travels beyond the Bay that'll be our job to do it. So we will do the Mac Dre mega episode. It is.
Got too drunk, had tea meanie martinis, took a wrong turn, and now I'm in the boonies.
Yeah, that's so good. But no, you're 1,000. I'm sorry. Did you have anything more?
No, that was it.
No, I love rap. Rap was the first music that I liked classic rock a lot as a kid, but I relied on my parents' knowledge of it. They are encyclopedic on classic rock. Like they know everything about anything that happened from 68 to probably 85 as far as like rock goes. Like they have like these crazy books full of concert tickets and stuff. Like they've seen everybody. By the way, we're gonna go see Daryl Hall and Peter Gabriel within like a calendar week. So that not on the same show. Todd Rundgren's opening up for Daryl Hall. That's gonna be lit. They charge an arm and a leg, but I think it's they're both in their 70s, man. We got to go see them. But anyways, with rap, I'll answer his question and then I'll expand on that. Are we in a weird spot with rap? Yeah. I also think rap has reached its peak in a sense of like how retarded it can be. In a sense that like there was a weird thing back in like the early 2010s, maybe mid 2010s, where like the meme SoundCloud, like ironic cup of noodles tracksuit guy, like talking about like, you know, playing PlayStation games, but they have like teardrop tattoos and stuff, like just like that stuff kind of like ushered in a thing of like this irony, but like I'm also like all I rap about is like eating pussy all the time and like just this weird thing like that stuff. I think there is like a dead end to that. I do think we're going to get back to some kind. The production, I think, is still going to stay very 808 heavy, which I don't think is a bad thing at all. I think that's gonna I think it's economically very tough to go back to sample based music, right? Which I think a lot of people, when they say real hip hop, they mean sample based, lyrical, miracle, spiritual. That's what they over it. That's kind of what people want when I don't necessarily think we need to return to that. There is enough of a back catalog to listen to all of that. Now I want some of those elements to return to rap because I don't like the fact that like people like Lil Uzi don't know who Tupac is. I am a boomer in that sense. I think that's lame when you're like, I don't know who that is, or I never listened to him. It's like, you should.
It's weird.
Like,
it's weird.
It's weird. It's not a flex that you don't know who somebody is. Like, you know what I mean? It's like people out on Twitter who brag about not listening to podcasts. Like it's annoying. Yeah. Like it's just okay. That's not a personality trait. I mean, it is. It's a bad one actually. But like my thing is like with that, I think that needs to happen. I think there needs to be like a more like looking at the genre as a history because it hasn't been around that long, really. Like I mean, you're talking about 1977, but I would say that rap really started with Rakim, like really started, like where you saw like whoa, you know what I mean? Like there was like that whole silent movie era of like rap that was just like Sugar Hill Gang, like where nobody knew like what people actually wanted to hear lyrically in a song. I think eventually that there also needs to be less caring too. Like there needs to become a carefree rapper that's like. People might argue that like the Little Uzis and like all these type of guys are like carefree because they're just like not trying, but like there needs to be like those Mac Dre type or like I'm trying to think of who else where these people where it just sounds effortless and you can just like take their style and put it over any beat and have it still be them, but the beat is what makes them experimental. You know what I mean? Like the type like there needs to. I don't think we have that right now. And again, the last few years I have not been paying attention to new rap, but I would argue that this person, I understand where their heart is. I've never been the biggest J. Cole fan, but to me, I listen to it. It's talented. I recognize it as good, just objectively pretty good music, but it didn't touch my soul the way that I think it did a lot of people. Kendrick was very good, but I think we lost Kendrick. I don't think he's coming back. He's gotten like into some like Jordan Peele dimension, like some weird Jordan Peele's like floating sky demon dimension right now. And I don't think he's there. Nipsey Hussle to me was still the last like just brutal loss in rap. Young Dolph too. I think Young Dolph had a lot of Mac Dre in him. Dolph was amazing.
He's fucking hilarious.
The album Dumb and Dumber with him and Key Glock is to me like it was unbelievable, and it had the Mac Dre vibe. Dumb and Dumber, like it had that like Mac Dre Mac Mall kind of like Cutthroat Committee, just trading back and forth versus hard ass beats. Just like, oh my god, like
Mac Dre would have gone hard on that feature too.
The spirit. That's the problem, is the spirit of the old rappers. I'm not hearing it right now. And it's even if they like subconsciously, like I don't hear Tupac anywhere in rap, and I'm not even Tupac is the GOAT kind of guy, but I don't hear Biggie in anybody right now. That's mainstream and popular, right? You'll hear. I'm sure there's underground, kind of like even those. I like those upstate New York guys. The what are their names?
I know who you're talking about.
They're sick. Why can't I think of their names? Conway's one of them, but Benny the Butcher. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Those guys, they're tight, but it's very like, it's not, the world's not going to listen to them. That's the thing. It's they're going to have their own audience, and it's going to be like white guys nodding their heads in the audience to like kind of mafioso rap, which is great. But like, I don't hear the spirit in like mainstream rap of the old ones. Like, I feel like there's a bastardization of rap that happened, and that's what scares me. But Nipsey Hussle was, to me, I think was like the guy who just got it completely. He was
I like that he turned down the Snoop Dogg role too.
That would have been stupid. Yeah,
that was funny. Like, he literally wouldn't return Dr. Dre's call. He's like,
he was smart as fuck, man. He was smart. He was smart as fuck, but knew how to be dumb on a song, and then like just I don't know. He was champagne while I shop. Hope I splurge foolish. Closing escrow twice this month. That's commercial units. Amazing line. Just amazing. So he was unbelievable. But like, I don't have high hopes for rap to come back. But like, obviously, like it's gonna remain a genre for a while, and it's pretty open. Like, it got oversaturated for a while with the SoundCloud era. I think we're still dealing with the leftovers of all that. But like, I think rap's gonna have to die a little bit for it to come back.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna have to die a little bit. I think we'll let this like hyper pop, like weird shit happen, like Charlie XCX kind of thing. No hate on that, but I think that's gonna have to take over for a little bit, and then I think there might be an opposition to that style that then creates a good genre of rap or something. We'll see. We'll see. So, all right, next one, man. People like when we go on the rap rants. Like, it's weird. I don't know why. This is a little two-parter from our friend Jay Holme, who's going to be coming on the show relatively soon, talking about some PKD. So I'm going to be really, really excited to have that going. But here's her questions.
Hey Glenn, hey Sai. This is Jessie. It's Jay Holme on Twitter and Discord. Okay, two-part question for your mailbag. Part one, the moon. I feel like you guys haven't talked about the moon in a while. You got to give the listeners what they want. Is it fake? Like, where are you guys at these days? Yeah, I'm pretty conspiracy minded, but I can't get down with this blasphemy. Like, I don't think we went there. I definitely don't think we went there. But tell me again, why is the moon fake? Is it just dance? Here's where I get hung up. How do you explain women's menstrual cycles? Okay. I'm over here like rapping.
I got takes on that now.
Awesome. I'm telling you, dudes, back in the day, when I went off birth control, my body literally synced up with the fucking moon.
Based.
So if it's fake, I'm just questioning my whole reality. Is the moon a form of reproductive tech? Is it all a ruse? I have so many questions.
I love that take. First off,
part two, which is somewhat related.
Let's pause that. Let's answer that one first, because I don't want to forget. That was a very layered, bloomin' onion layered question, which I like. There was
The
a lot
moon-
going on there.
yeah, the
we
moon's
never
re-
said that. We never said the moon was fake. First of all, I think know if she's accusing us of that, but we never said it was fake. It's installed, right?
Installed.
It's installed.
Yeah.
Joseph Farrell says parked, which I like too. I do like that. Somebody just pulled up and was like, right here. Just unhitch the trailer. You all trailer.
Little part. Beep, beep. Yeah.
With that term so much. But no, kick it off to you, the moon guy, I should say, please.
Yeah, I think it's I mean, where I'm at now. Yeah, we need like a Dropbox folder of like just files, like Trill TV raw video file, and then PDFs and that people could just go download.
Also on our Kendrick Lamar, I believe that was the first time we touched the moon subject, right? Or like the moon install, because I believe that's why I love that episode so much. It was half the episode was me talking about Kendrick. People go to college to learn how to, half that, and then the other half was you talking about the moon being fake in a sense that it's not what we say, right? It's not what we're taught, in the same way that Egypt, the pyramids aren't fake, but they're not a tomb, right? So like in a sense, like we have that, but please go on.
No, I mean, so my thing, not only is the moon real, but a huge part of my cosmology, I have tons of faith in the moon and what it represents, so it's definitely and why I said we need a Dropbox is because, the PDF Our Impossible Earth and Moon by Fred Cameron, or Our Impossible Moon and Earth, I forget which one it is. So I think it's just like 13, 14 pages or so. And it just goes through all the weird numerical anomalies between the Earth, the Moon, and the Sun, and also ratios found within the human body and biochemistry, and weird constants in physics and mathematics and biology, and also like female reproductive cycles and gestation periods and menstrual cycles, things like that. So it definitely is all connected. But again, it's probably parked there or something, or it was just an extra, like a miracle from a god, in the way that it was just completely created so perfectly to be in union with the Earth. We don't know if it's hollow or not. The thing is that there's no atmosphere, and there's so many goddamn meteors that are hitting it all the time historically, but none of them are that deep. It's like, it's almost like a shell, that you ever think about that, right? How it's like, what is it like? Why do all the meteors just like that shell, like a giant fucking meteor will hit, and then it just hits this impenetrable shell or something? I don't know. And it just doesn't make sense for what it is. And as far as did NASA go there, that's definitely the I don't hitch my wagon to any. I'm definitely totally 100% open to the idea that we faked at least the footage of going to the moon landing, at the very least. And it's totally possible that that we didn't go at all. I'm not opposed to that at all. But when people get obsessed with that one idea that we never went ever, it gets a little weird. Maybe just from optics. I don't know if that's just me being blue pilled or whatever. But for me, I just kind of
it just says more about we can't go. We can't. It's like, well, all right, like chill out. Like I feel like they've ended the discussion right there, and it's like no. It's the George R.R. Martin Mistfall thing, where it's like, let me get weird. Let me experiment. Let's add more nuance to this. Like you might be right. I'm not going to rule out that we didn't go, or can't go, or physically never put a spaceship out. I'm fine with that. But it's like this idea that we never and stop talking about it. You know what I mean? Like that thing. It's like, no, this is a fun thing to talk about.
Totally. Yeah. And the exactly. And as far as we know, Artemis is the female-led project at the moon. It's not going to work, precisely because of what
when are they going? Are they going to sink it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when
maybe they haven't been going at the right time.
Yeah, what's the time? Man, it could go bad. Really. So we have hot takes on that's a big part of our moon cosmology too. But yeah, the moon is just weird. And the funny thing is, the moon is like UFOs, where it's like this stuff is so obvious and in such plain sight. It's crazy that we're not talking about it all the time, at least in scientific circles. Like all our scientists aren't It's because science is fake. We know that, and like
Mhm.
we've all the worst parts about science is what we have now, and none of the cool shit. But yeah, if we had any real curiosity, we'd all be asking these questions all the time about the moon. But yeah, it definitely affects life on Earth for sure. And there seems to be some weird general gestalt of weirdness and paranormal psychic connections, human biology connections to the moon for sure. What do you think?
So
Yeah.
I've said this before. I think if we did go, then we go often.
Mm.
And whatever, then we go often, because I don't imagine that we'd ever go to a place like that once. That sounds really stupid. That seems like the thing that can't happen, is that we just went once and we're like, it wasn't shit.
Yeah.
Kind of gay, you know? Like, wasn't tight.
Yeah.
I hate to break it to you, there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
You know? Huge achievement, but
Yeah.
you know, like that's weird to me that we don't do that.
Yeah.
So if we did go, the footage is fake and something crazy happened that the general public can't know about.
Yeah.
And we go often. We keep going back. We might be building bases on the moon and stuff. Alex Jones has the thing where Elon and Trump were talking about building like crazy things on the dark side of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that happened or not, but that conversation or not. It's Alex Jones. You got to kind of, you know,
Yeah.
maybe he just was hot. You know, he was on a hot, you know, Joe DiMaggio hit streak and just decided to kind of, you know, test it, you know, shoot from half court, you know?
Yeah.
But with the menstrual cycle thing, the moon is absolutely real. It absolutely affects. I think women, you know, there might be people that think that we are a little harsh on women sometimes. I think that women are foisted into roles, or have roles foisted onto them that maybe don't exactly bring out their best qualities. And I think one thing about them is I think they're way more sensitive to the paranormal. And I think that whatever puts our universe together, I think they're way more in touch with it than men are. I just think so. I think men are kind of the yeomen of what we do. We put our heads down and we work, you know, for the most part, and that kind of stuff. And I think women are in touch spiritually with us. That's why their intuition's so great. You know, they miss sometimes. They might disagree, but they miss sometimes, but a lot less than we do, I think. And so I think there's definitely something there. Now, I will say, if the moon is powerful enough from as far away as it is to power, you know, to just alter menstrual cycles or sync them up with things, and if that's the thing controlling that, it's like I have a hard time believing it's so easy to take a step on that object.
Yeah,
I think it can alter chemistry, or even is the thing that actually creates women's chemistry that we then alter.
Yeah.
It's pretty tough for me to be like, yeah, there's a guy in the 60s that walked on it. I think that's it's very odd. I like what's unknown.
For sure.
To me, like I said, it's the George R.R. Martin Mistfall story, where it's just like, I love what's underneath the mist. I don't necessarily want to know what's under the mist. I love the part where I'm at right now, where it's like the more answers I get, you know, maybe the less I know, the better, you know.
And you know, it the more we learned about it, it would only cause more questions to erupt, kind of a thing. You know, it's one of those endless pits, kind of a thing.
Absolutely.
Because then, what if there's aliens there? Well, how long have they been there? Are we on prison planet? Are they gatekeeping? Are they keeping?
So there's a book I'm proposing for Gain of Fiction, and it's called man, the moon is a hell or something. It was just like it's this book about like moon prison. I'm gonna Google it because I have it. I just can't get to it right now. 1966. It's pre-moon landing. The Moon is a Harsh Mistress by Robert Heinlein. I got a copy of it. It's written in 1966. It won like an award and everything, and it's about like a moon prison colony that's on there. Which I think would be very fun for us to do. It's a very short book, and I think it'd be really fun. And I love the idea of exploring. I love the idea of exploring pre-1969 moon content.
Yeah,
because I'm like, that sounds more fun to me than like going there and be like, just a big ass fucking rock, dude.
Yeah.
It's fucking, you know, it's cool. It's a big rock, like it, and we went, and there's no need to go back.
Yeah.
But give us a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give us a bunch of money just in case we need to, you know?
Yeah.
So, and send women there.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. So yeah, let's get to part 2 of her question.
Yeah.
Birthdays, which is
Let's see. Hold on.
so if it's fake, is the moon a form of reproductive tech? Is it all a ruse? I have so many questions. Okay, part 2, which is somewhat related. What are your birthdays? Which is a surreptitious way of asking what your astrology signs are. I really been playing into every crystal-loving reishi millennial chick stereotype, but do you know your sun signs? Do you know your rising signs, moon signs? And actually, now that I'm saying that, the latter could actually help me to determine whether I think the moon is fake or not. So let me know. Love the podcast. Keep doing what you're doing. Peace out. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Do you know your sun sign? I don't.
Yeah, I'm a Taurus, born in late May, almost at the cutoff. Before Gemini, I guess it is, but I'm not quite on the cusp. And yeah, I had my chart done when I lived upstate New York. All the hippie friends, you had to have that. There's always some girl that wants
I
to
think
do your
Kelby
fucking
helped me out
chart,
with that.
dude.
I forgot what I was,
Yeah.
but yeah, I know I'm a Libra, but yeah.
I have an interesting chart in that I'm like, because I never like felt, I was like, yeah, I'm a Taurus, but I don't really vibe with what it all says here on the thing and everything. And then I got my chart done, and I was like, for like my first 6 or 7, sun, moon, and then all the first planets, it's just Taurus, Pisces, Taurus, Pisces, Taurus, Pisces, alternating all the way down. There's like no variance. It's just those two. And then it starts to get into other shit. But apparently that's really unique, and that that doesn't always happen. And yeah, that makes sense to me. That made more sense to me for sure. And my aunt, who was one of my favorite people on earth, she was a Pisces to start. So I think that was like a little connection between us, So yeah, nice. Taurus, Pisces, basically. Yeah, May.
Okay. Yeah, I know this. Somebody could find this out for me, because I know Kelby did a reading on me, and I don't remember. I just don't remember like the sun and the moon sides. I'm a Libra, October 15th, 11:56 p.m., almost October 16th, but had to have been a reason, right, for that. And then I know that my wife is an Aquarius. I think Libra and Aquarius get along well, so that seems to track. And I don't know. I don't know much about it. I'd like to, maybe when she comes on for PKD, she could do some astrology stuff for us, because I don't think we've talked about it. So
be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. But yeah, I am a Libra. I know that everyone's like, oh, Libra. I don't know. All right, sure. I don't know. I probably fit in like a glove to all the things that are about Libras, but that's all right. I don't doubt it. I just always was like, it just always seemed weird that astrology was like the one paranormal thing that was tolerated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
totally.
Like, it just felt weird to me that was the one thing. So I was always just like, by that logic, I kind of, not like I didn't get bored by it, because that would imply that I got into it. I'm sure it would be cool, and I'm sure there's something I could reap from it that was really good. But I was always just like, well, this is like allowed, like this is like it's in the paper, and the whatever, but nothing else is real, right? Like all that other, if you go anywhere beyond that, it's not real. So very weird, very, very strange. So all right, thank you. Those were both great questions. And the next one coming up is going to be, this is about California. He says this question's for me, but it's for both of us.
Glenn, howdy, Cy. It's Trevor from San Francisco, California, and I've got a question for Glenn. So I love it here, and I feel like people would have to pry me off the side of the road to get me out. But right, California is a very frustrating place. What kind of things would you like to see change that make it easier for you to stay in California? Anyway, have a good one, and I will catch y'all in the episode.
Well, one, I'd love to have more than one Prant. Two, that's the kind of a Substack joke that I put out there, but brought out to the mainstream. But yeah, two, rent. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's California wants to become this kind of like, it's odd. You go to San Francisco, nothing's happening. Nobody's out. I was in Jack London Square in Oakland on a Saturday during lunchtime. Nothing happening. Like nobody was out there. Shout out Scott Seafood, great restaurant. But there was just nobody. It was easy. It was just like dead zone. And I'm just like wondering, like, do people want California to be like fun again, or is it just going to become like a tech colony?
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is, like a work from home. Like it is like very like Great Reset, kind of like it was all that stuff in Australia and New Zealand. They were like, hey, this shit slaps. Let's go implement it in California now. Cause that's like what, and like self-imposed too, of course. Like nobody's saying you have to do this, you have to do that. We don't really have laws anymore post COVID of like, you have to stay inside. You can't do that. Everything's out there, but people just don't. And it doesn't feel like California anymore. I mean, everything's really expensive. Not that it was ever cheap. California was never cheap. It was always in scale, still more expensive than other states. But, for me, I've always valued the like diverse parts of California, how you could walk one street over and you'd be in like the straight up, like, bum, 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 like lowrider neighborhood. And then all of a sudden, you'd go over and you'd be in like this like Hindu like neighborhood. Like I always thought that was really cool. It felt like very video gamey and kind of like Thomas Pynchon-y. Like it was just really fun, almost like a noir, like a weird California noir story where you were just constantly like into different rooms of like crazy places. And I've always valued that. I think that's given me a very good perspective on the world. That being said, the state doesn't want me anymore. So I would really want the state to like actually want my type to stay. Which I think is a rather native Californian, the type of guy that I am. Obviously there's Native Americans, there's, all that type of stuff. But what I mean is like, I am a California type of guy. I think people that talk to me know that I'm from California. I've never lived anywhere else. And I know that my type isn't exactly what they want in the state anymore. So I would love for the state to actually enjoy my presence. That being said, I'm probably going to I'm going somewhere Eastern, right? There's no more West you can go. So I'm going somewhere Eastern. It's not even my final resting place. I will never own property in the state, sadly. So it just won't happen. And I love it though. When he said I would rather be you have to pry me off the side of the road. It's like, it does feel that way. It does keep people here longer than they need to be here. Cause it's like, there's people that needed to move yesterday and I might be one of them. But I'm kind of like, it's so sick. Like it's so tight. Like all the right wing weird, like panic over it. I'm like, no, just come out here. It's fun. Yeah. It's so fun.
Yeah. And people aren't as like, it's way less insane. Like, politically than like a Portland for sure. Where
right, and you've lived in both, so
where people you go back to California, people are way more just normal and just chill, and in general, they're just like they just want to vibe, But yeah, I don't know what's happening with it. It's weird for sure. I mean, especially the Bay Area. Berkeley and San Fran and stuff. I don't know. You have to, if you do it, you have to go down to like Watsonville. You have to go to like Carmel.
Santa Barbara is so beautiful still. Though you're right. You're
absolutely
right.
Room. There's plenty of room. Yeah.
The main cities are just really, they're definitely not the like Chicago level, like insane, like Iraq, like that you'll see from the people off the 880 filming it and stuff. Like there's 10 cities. It trust me, it's not great. But what I mean is like, that's not what scares me away from the state. The thing that scares me from the state is it's just not fun. Like those cities aren't as fun anymore. Like I still enjoy going to San Francisco. We're going to go soon. Like it's fun. There's still a lot of fun things out there. But the problem is that like you got to go to those coastal fun towns like the Watsonvilles, the Salinas. Our trip to Salinas recently with my wife to go to the Steinbeck Museum, that was so fun. It was and it just felt beautiful. Like nothing changed out there. It was great. They do a good job preserving it. And then like Santa Barbara is always great. Beautiful, like Jackie Treehorn Beach community out there, wonderful. And then there's just a lot of like those are still great. San Diego's still phenomenal. There's still a lot of really good stuff in California out there. But this guy said he was from San Francisco, and I that city has changed like big time. Oakland is like Oakland is like 28 days later, like just one of those, like something like swept over it, and just it's not the same anymore. Like
Yeah.
there's something happened there. I Seneca Scott would be able to answer that better than I could, but like there's something happened there, like where I walk in there and I'm like, not only is it's not like this war zone, but it's even creepier because like there's not even that. You're like, this is weird. There's just nothing happening.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what are they waiting on? They kicked all the sports teams out.
Yep.
It's never going to become the tech hub as far as like companies moving there to start their like tech industry out there.
Yeah.
Because it's Oakland. SF has always been the premier option within those two cities, right? Separated by a bridge. But Oakland is just like, what do they expect to have happen out here? Is that where the pods are going to be? And then the bugs will just, be on the other side. San Francisco, all the server farms will just be, maybe Oakland will just be all server farms.
Yeah.
Like just this weird, like Philip K. Dick, like kind of like Half-Life, like Ubik, like server farms.
Yeah.
And then like SF will still have like the vestiges of a society kind of, but still not really. I don't know.
Yeah.
Very odd. Very odd. I wish I had more of an answer. Poolhouse does a really good job of talking about what he thinks is happening out there. So I would check out Welcome to the Backlash to he does a really good job of kind of taking away the political, like the weird, like political, like it's actually they're just letting people kill people. Like it's like he takes away that kind of fear mongering and kind of looks at it holistically, which I like. So I would definitely go check his stuff out there. And let's see. Next one up is this is our last one. This one is this guy's voice sounds really familiar, and I think he has some questions about my appearance.
Yo, this is Adam from Queens. I'm an elite bodybuilder. I was curious what dose of estradiol Glenn is taking that has given him such a nice feminine structure to his face and given him that nice fluffy hair. Also curious if when Glenn is fully a woman, if Cy is going to make her his wife. All right, guys, keep up the good work.
That is a Substack tier that you guys will need to really pay up for when that happens. First of all, if I was when I do transition, I would never marry you. That's gay.
Yeah.
And
I'm honored that I'd be assumed to be the man in the situation.
Yeah, I know.
Thank you.
That's made. That's
Adam.
the Adam from Queens.
Yeah.
Adam from Queens. Yeah, I don't know.
Who could that be?
It's so familiar, but it's so distant.
Yeah.
so unfamiliar at the same time. But
what was the compound that he said?
Stradiol, which that's
hell yeah.
I'll tell you what I'm taking. First off, glendrogeny is a real thing. I'm a big David Bowie fan, so I like I do get weird. I've always had like, my like weird like Mexican foremen that have like Dennis Cooper type desires for me. Like they'll look at me and just like kind of be confused. You know what I mean? A little bit. I don't think I look like a woman. Like when people see me, I don't think I do, but I do have very fluffy hair, soft features in the face. Like that's always been a thing I've tried to get rid of, but it doesn't appear that that's going to happen. Although with age, that's a better thing. As you get older, it's better to have those softer features. With my hair, I mean, I guess Adam from Queens is actually like, what's your hair routine? I think it was buried within that bodybuilder toxic masculinity question that he was asking me. But the hair is, for one, it's genetics. My mom's hair is fantastic. My dad's hair is fantastic. My mom's dad is I think just turned 80 or is in his late 70s or something. Still has a full head of hair with a perfect hairline. Just come from good hair. Very thick hair. It grows very fast. I also use Aliffa. It's LALAFFIA coconut oil shampoo. It is like comes out like molasses, but it is wonderful. And then I use their conditioner as well. So I use that stuff that has definitely given my hair life. And then I also have I use Osmia rose clay soap for the face. I don't know if that contributes to the feminine features or not, but it's okay. Like I said, glendrogeny, it's a thing. And then look, that's Adam Lair, of course. Everybody knows that. And the next botch chatification video apparently sounds like it's going to be him raping me. So that's what it sounds like. It's going to be him raping me while reading like Nietzsche or something. And because that was that's okay, man. You know, anything for content. I'm in Glensploitation mode, so it's everything is content at this point. But no, dude, like. It's weird, man. Like there is like this thing like with my hair. Like there are people that looked at me like really confused. I don't know what it is. Like it's just like maybe it's just like girly hair or something like that. But it's like they look at me very confused.
Interesting. Yeah, it's so just normal for me. Yeah, I don't know. I just like I don't. Well, how long is that? That's what, a year?
This?
Yeah.
No, I've gotten it cut a couple times.
Yeah.
This my last haircut was probably 6 months ago. I mean, this is like past the collarbone a little bit. Like it's pretty long, but I don't know. I think it just like it like I don't know. It just kind of like goes a little crazy and stuff like that. But it is what it is. But I'm glad people notice. I mean, that's cool. Dude, I don't know what I would do. I have a really poor head shape. So like if I was unfortunately one of those people that went bald in their 20s, which is a thing, I'd be fucked. My head is really large and very Jimmy Neutron.
Word.
People used to call me Jimmy Neutron in middle school. That's why I have long hair now, because when I had the short hair, people used to call me that. Didn't care for it too much. But it's crazy. So thanks Adam from Queens. That was a wonderful question. So I do love the idea that we had Adam Lair on for like, or I think it was just me, had him on for like 2 hours. And like, you know, he was just like, what the fuck's up with that guy? What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Like he just rips open a phone book or something, just rips it in half with the fucking guy's face.
Some about like New York City dudes too. You know, it's just like a different. You can't sneak that past them. You know, it's like it's
can't.
more on the.
I know. Maybe it's just for being in California. Like it's like whatever. You kind of just like are just like a beach bummy looking guy. And I'll say this right now. I'm not even a big beach guy.
Word.
The beach itself, beach community, beach adjacent. I love it.
Yeah.
Going on the beach, it's all right.
Yeah.
I don't know. You probably like it more than I do.
I do. Yeah.
I think it's okay. The beach itself. Yeah. It's like Larry David. Larry David has the perfect beach take where he's like, I go here, I'm on the beach. Now what?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I've tried to read on the beach. The fucking pages blow in the wind. In TV shows, the beach is never windy. It's fucking windy as hell every time I go there.
Yeah.
A coffee shop by the beach with a book, heaven.
Yeah.
It's heaven.
It's a good time.
Heaven. Yeah. It's absolute good time. We're out of questions. We don't have any more. I got to say, shout out Ryan the Lion. He lost his phone, had it stolen. I don't know. It seemed like an interesting situation. Minnesota's finest. He claims he has a good question, but could not. He needed his voice heard. So he had a good question for us. So shout out to him.
Some Vikings take. It was one of those. I got a question, but it wasn't a question. It was just a fucking. Hey, I got a question. Justin Jefferson's going to be top of the league this year.
No,
thanks,
Ryan's self-hating.
Ryan.
Ryan's a self-hating Catholic like me, so he would be like, actually, the Twins should be in the Twins should be in AAA. Like that would be
hell yeah, dude.
That would be what Ryan would say.
I agree.
Not a question as well. Yeah, and so Minnesota and Oakland fans have a very it's a weird like. The self-hating is definitely there's definitely a common frequency we vibrate upon together.
That's
so
damn, I'm bummed we didn't get the Ryan one. That sucks.
No, and his accent is just primo. So it's so good. And I don't have anything else. Thanks for the questions, guys. Like I said, go check out our Substack. We do have a private feed on there. There is Gain of Fiction on there, but there's also fun episodes with just me and Cy just shooting the shit on there, which everybody seems to love, and of course I love. But you know, it's just you never know what translates there. And out next week. I mean, it's not coming out next week, but we're going to be recording the 4th annual Alpha Beta Index for NFL head coaches. The third one with our friend Marcus Johnson, but the fourth overall. It was
My-
actually the
it's my
second.
favorite RC anniversary.
Mhm.
Like out of all
It
the
was
ones
the
we
second
have.
episode we ever did. I think it was like a second or third.
Yeah.
And it's like this thing. People are gonna be like, "Why are you guys doing like a whole football thing?" It's like
Yeah.
because it's a media company. Idiot.
Yeah.
That's
idiot.
Fucking dumbass. It's because it's a media company.
Yeah.
It's not a podcast. We're Brian Eno. I'm not an artist. It's not a
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Robbie Robertson. Yeah, everybody have a safe week, and definitely have some really fun stuff coming up, and I'm excited to share it with you guys. All right, see you guys later.
Peace.